I'm always up on time, down on my luck. Got a brand new payment on an old, worn out truck. Papa told me back when I was 9, someday this farm, it'll be all mine.
And we are back to Home of the Average Joe podcast. And yes, we know we've been absent, but turkey season ended yesterday. Mr. Chris Ford, I was not ignoring you. I was trying to let it get started. What's happening, brother? Hopefully you are doing good on this Memorial Day. We'll get this party a-rocking. But yeah, so turkey season here in Southwest Ohio has ended. However, I had a viewer that told me that North is still good. So when they see my post, because North comes in later, so they get to go longer. I think they get an extra week up north. So if we want to go chase turkeys, we can go up to the northern counties and hunt public land. But I think you got to go all the way up towards like Akron and Cleveland in order to get into those. But no, guys, last week we went through like half the podcast without audio. So that was the joke of like, hey, we're going to check to see if there's audio this time so we don't have to redo it. So we do know that we have audio. We do know that we are getting ready to rock and roll. And so we are going to rewind. I did text the one, so I will see because he can add some comments and we'll wait to jump in on that. But yeah. Michael, what's happening? It has been a while. Everybody is doing good, but I promise you, this party is just getting started. So this party for HRX is on a mission. If you couldn't tell by turkey season, we were definitely on a mission. Had a lot of things going on, had a lot of people in the woods, had a lot of different things going that way. And I think honestly, so this year, was it year 2 or year 3 for the turkey contest?
2, I believe. 2.
2?
Yeah, we didn't do it the first year.
Yeah, so I thought it was deer we didn't do the first year. I thought this was the third turkey.
We did the deer. This was the third. This past year was the first. This will be the third year of deer. This is the only second year of turkey.
I got you. So,
I believe so.
Regardless, turkey, Mr. Doug Light, that's the turkey slayer leader right there is Mr. Doug Light. Mr. Doug Light, would you care to post in the comments how many birds you personally laid down this year, and then how many birds you were a part of the Can't Stop the Flop tour on for this year? Because I know you had one heck of a season, because I know you, Mr. Langster, and Jimmy all were part of a lot when it comes to that. So I will let you chime in on that. But yeah, with that being said, we're gonna kick off this party. So Ohio was, I'm going to call it up and down, at least for me. And when I say up and down, the only part that was down is the birds never cooperated. We got into that little, we'll call it spat over deer and turkey the last time it was just you and I. But I'm telling you, after the last time of doing that, this year personally was involved on more close encounter gobbles, coming from behind you, run and gun, just always on the move. And it honestly made turkey season something to ride home about. Now, with that being said, Mr. Doug Light, that is insane, my friend. For myself, which for those of you that know, so Illinois, you can take 3. Then he got 1 in Nebraska. And then he got his nephew's 3 birds, I believe is what it was, is the nephews all got birds on top of that. So with that being said, that guy right there, so I think he was 7. I think Jimmy was 6 total that he was a part of. And I think Nathan was, let's see, so he was...
Nathan's probably up there with Doug on the amount he was on, because I think Nathan was with Doug on all of his birds.
No, because Doug shot one of his while we were there, but yeah, so
I know they hunt together a lot, so I figured Nathan was there.
No, so yeah, Mr. J. Colley, what is happening, my friend? Long time no talk, brother man. But yeah, so we may get that turkey deer argument going again before everything goes, only because I'm gonna tell you, man, like the number of times, and Doug will tell you because I called telling him stories just like I told you stories. I had plenty. So like fish stories. how there's always fish stories, like always too good to believe it, right? Like, oh yeah, caught this bass and it just barely didn't make it to the bank and fell right back in. Well, like I felt like that was our turkey season in Ohio. Like, oh man, called this bird into 15 yards, no shot. Oh man, called this bird into 10 yards, no shot. Oh man, this bird was behind us and there was a coyote or a fox because all you heard was the screeching rabbit. And so like I feel like I was telling lots of fish stories. I don't have the video to show the gobblers, but you can hear how close those gobblers are in those videos because like you can hear the difference as they're coming in and how fast they're responding. And I'm telling you, even without me holding the gun, it was still insane. But I will tell you, this was my first year, like full-fledged, got to do it, got to run and gun, got to do whatever. I learned a lot this year, was taught a lot, and have a lot of stuff that I'm going to try next year. And it sounds like maybe Illinois may be a thing again next year. So, but we'll wait for Nathan to jump on to kind of talk about that because I want to make sure he's included. Chris Ford had a good turkey season, never got the chance, was covered up with work. Yeah, Chris Ford. So that seems to be the tale of a lot of people that I talk to. It seemed like the spring, whether it be the weather, whether it be whatever. I know Mr. Bob Carey, if you're up in, it would be the northeast area, kind of up in his neck of the woods. He has a tick spraying business and ticks were out of control. So he was spraying I'm going to call it all spring long. He didn't get a chance to get out. But I'm going to tell you, man, like this turkey season got me fired up. This turkey contest got me fired up. This was just so our audience knows and is aware, this is probably one of the best contests that we had. And I'm going to tell you that part of it was probably the chance at the belt. You know, we did that little, whatever you want to call it, on the one podcast that like was like, do we do a belt or don't we? And then once we did the belt, it seemed like everybody was all in because they want their chance to write that stone. And right now, the way it sits, and again, we got it closing May 31st, which is Saturday. Right now, the way it sits,
Sunday
or whatever, yeah, Sunday, whatever. It's closing the end of the month. We're not carrying it into June. How about that? So with that being said, we are going to have right now, Mr. Troy Norman is leading with like, it's 47 and change points because he shot a double beard in the adult division. So Troy is going to be right now, unless somebody knocks that guy off, he's going to be taking the adult belt. And then Mr. Kyle Thorman over out Ohio is going to be taking the youth division again, unless somebody decides to knock it off here in the last week. And then Doug Light is taking the turkey slayer.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's not.
Well, so here's the thing, like between Doug, Jimmy, and Troy. So Troy, if he wouldn't have had the biggest bird or the best score, he could have flip-flopped with Doug for the turkey slayer. And then Jimmy, so this is no slide at Troy's double beard. But Jimmy and Troy, this came from Troy. Troy told me that Jimmy's is an absolute dinosaur because his scored with a single beard, I think it was like 38 points or something like that. And so like what knocked it out was just strictly the double beard. But I mean, like he had a 26-pound bird, which like is, again, in the turkey world, according to Doug, a 26-pound bird with this beard that he had and the spurs was like shooting a 180 or 190 when it comes to a bird. So Jimmy had an absolutely heck of a season. I mean, these birds hunted tough this year. I mean, they were very, very tight-lipped. They went at it early. So I think that that's the one thing that I'm going to change come next year is I think I'm going to try to make more of an effort to get them talking early and make more of an effort to try to get Hunter a bird and Harper a bird because she ended up going at the end, but to get them a bird during youth season when maybe they're a little more talkative, so that way come adult season, we have a little bit more room to run and gun and do some different things. Because again, for me, this season was an absolute success with Hunter getting his first bird. And you guys will get a chance. We're gonna be changing up the podcast studio. You can still see the concrete floor. There's gonna be some different things going on. John and I have already talked about that, about what we're doing. So we're gonna get
under construction here soon.
Yeah, but the good news is, I mean, minus I gotta touch up some paint in some different spots, and then put on some baseboard. Ain't nothing crazy, and then
lay some carpet
again. But then we may do the different style of, like, I'm gonna call it the campfire style, because that's really or the round table talk, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I ain't getting no love seats. Let's not get crazy with it, because then we all know that you and T-Bone will be on the love seat, and then you guys will have your arms wrapped around each other or something along those lines. But we'll have to wait for.
I have no comments that are appropriate for Facebook.
Yeah, well, I mean, you feel a little jealous when he's with Lauren, so we just got to make sure you get your time.
It's all good. It's all good.
But
I'll have my time.
Yeah. So, but with that being said, so Hunter's bird is going to be on the wall behind us. He's going to hopefully. I mean, again, deer season. Maybe his deer will be back from deer season. I don't know, but we'd like to get some more critters on the wall. There's some other stuff in the works. But yeah, guys, it's been a crazy season, and I don't know if you guys, Doug, Jay, Chris, if y'all want to tag Nate. I did message the group. He may be busy, but I was gonna kind of dive back into Hunter's story, but we'll hold tight on that. We'll let you kind of recap your season, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of go back to when we went to flight last week, when we did have audio on the podcast, and just kind of dipped, and all of us went out there at the last minute to try to put a bird down. We'll kind of recap that, and then if by then Mr. Langster's on, because again, he was there for it, I'd love for him to share in this story. We'll invite him on. But yeah, so if you want to recap yours and kind of I mean, you had some stuff happen. I mean, especially at the small property, and I mean, it wasn't completely for naught.
No, it wasn't for naught. Again, right? Like, I don't know. I guess I'm just a deer hunter at heart. I mean, I'm out there turkey hunting and I'm looking at deer sign, right? Like, I'm getting excited about deer season, looking at trees. Obviously, we can kind of dive into that later, but like, just trying to find, like, I'm calling, but there's really not a lot of like passion behind it, right? Also, like, I don't know. I had family that that turkey hunted, but not like hardcore. So I don't know. Like, I don't really feel like I'm that confident in the turkey woods. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll need to reach out to Doug or Nathan, see if I can pay them to be a guide for me or something, or reach out to Sailor or something to guide for me.
Maybe that's what we need to do next year. And again, we don't have a property that we can do it on in Ohio like they do in Illinois, but maybe that's what we need to set up, is because they're not going to Nebraska that I'm aware of again. So maybe depending on if they go, because they may go down to Kentucky, they may go down to the Grayson area again, to that one. I forget, it's Hog's Trough is the restaurant that they go to all the time when they're down there, but it's down there in the Grayson area. Yeah. Doug can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but yeah, that's where they are, kind of in those neck of the woods, and kind of with what they have going on. But yeah, so continue. But that was just one of those things that.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched videos and stuff like that on. I don't know. I just don't get as into. I'm sure if I had a bird, like, I had one good encounter, bird was gobbling. I mean, it got me going. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like it didn't get me going. It definitely did. But I mean, we've already had this conversation, right? There's just, I don't know. Turkeys just don't do it that way for me. I don't know why. I mean, they're definitely, like, it's intriguing for me, right? Like, I put more time in the woods this year than I have any other, season. But again, right, like, kind of narrowed it to one property, had a lot of birds, seen a lot of birds, seen a lot of hens, seen a couple toms, but the ones that I did see, they had hens with them, so there wasn't a whole lot going on there. And then again, I had that one, I mean, he was hammering, and I, laid off, got quiet, right? Hammered, hit the call again after he had hammered like twice. And I just kind of sat there, and then nothing really came to fruition with it, right? Had had a hen kind of come through, and then she went out into the field, and I don't know if maybe he seen her and, went after her or something, but yeah, he never committed. I sat there for probably an hour waiting on him to come in, and he never did, and that was about it. All the rest of it was just calling in the air is what it felt like,
Yeah.
nothing really responding or anything, but that was the only bird that I got to really respond. Like I said, I seen those 2, but they both had they had hens with them, so my season was pretty, it wasn't bad. I don't think any day that you're out there is bad, but it was
Well,
definitely
a bad day of turkey hunting always beats a good day of what?
a good day at work maybe,
Or a
like
bad how's that go? Sorry, a bad day of turkey hunting beats a bad day at work or whatever.
yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't dislike my job too much,
I
so,
mean,
I actually kinda enjoy
I
my
was gonna
job a
say
little bit for
you
anyone
don't
that's
you don't I
listening.
mean, you don't have to dislike your job to
Yeah,
enjoy being in the woods though. I think
yeah,
that that's the biggest thing is, you talk about it that if you do what we're talking about doing where, like, and we'll get into it here at the end of the podcast, but like deer season takes you into turkey season takes you into prep takes you back to deer. They're really like legitimately will be. I mean, the only off season per se would be show season where end of February till turkey season shuts up. And then but then like when turkey season and not shuts up, starts up is what I meant to say. When turkey season starts though, and now with having the tent and having some of that stuff, we may do some of the shows and do some of that stuff. So we really legitimately may have nothing.
yeah.
May have, no spare moments, but I think that as we get older, those spare moments is kinda what makes it or breaks it, right? I mean, as you can tell, so, like, I know John can't see it, or, I mean, he might be able to tell from his phone screen. You can tell John spent a little bit of time outside today on that camera. He is a little different shade of red, and that is just not because he's cold down here in this dungeon or this polar vortex down here talking about turkey hunting and deer hunting. But yeah, it may
I
be a
got a
little
little bit of
different.
yeah. We spent some time outside today,
So, all right. So with
which we
that,
can get to that in a
yeah.
little bit.
So with that being said, so I'll kind of recap the Illinois hunt. I know a lot of you guys seen Hunter's bird. That was his first bird, but we were fortunate enough to go to spend some time with our friends and then our brothers Nathan Langster, and then Doug met up with us. We were actually texting back and forth with Doug every day because again, we just had different counties in Illinois. You can't hunt the whole state, you can only hunt the county. So if you didn't know that, that is why we played by those rules. So we were restricted to county lines, restricted to different things that way. So, but with that being said, like Illinois was different. It hit different, but it hit different because like for us, I mean, getting up, so alarm would go off at 3:30 their time, and then we're out the door by 4, and again, I don't remember if this is when the audio was working last week or not working, but it was all about the Casey's every morning. The Casey's food is what made or break the trip to start the day. I mean, like, even to the point, like, and I'm gonna fast forward to rewind, even when Hunter got his bird, the first thing that he asked is if we were going to still stop at Casey's, even though he was tagged out. That was his determination. Doug, we'll get to that. That was his determination of whether or not he still went out. So, with that being said, we got there Thursday night late, kind of got unpacked, got unloaded, whatever, got everything laid out for the next morning. We started with owl screeches, which got Hunter to, so like, as you know, his mom thanks me very heavily for the turkey calls all year long, about like random turkey calls from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to bed. Well, then when we got back from Illinois, he started this owl screech, which I'm not going to do on here because Langster taught him that. Like, we literally stopped in the middle of the road and between the farms trying to get him to shot gobble. Right. And I mean, but it was early. So then the first morning we set up, and them stupid birds came out, and we heard them gobbling from where we were originally going to set up. And then we moved, and then Langster went to peek through the woods, and then the birds were where we originally set up after we made a move. And then when we went back to the truck to make a move on the other birds, then right where we just were, there was 3 birds there. So with that being what?
Sailor.
Oh, I got you. With that being said, it's one of those things where you always move, and then it seemed like they were always where we were at. So we chased them birds from county to county, from farm to farm, and put 3.5 miles on the first day. And we played on some birds for Nate Dogg in the middle of the day. Then we came back and we had like the final couple hours and going up and down, playing Billy Goat down the side of these hills and up the side of these hills and all sorts of stuff to finally have Hunter pop, like get a chance, like army crawling. And let me preface this. We started the day with full intentions of filming everything. Okay. And when we say we started with full intentions, Lankster will tell you, we literally went from, we'll call it 17 cameras. It wasn't really 17 cameras, but we went Tacticam Reveal, GoPros,
I know how you pack.
Insta360, my main camera. We went through everything. And then by the time we were running and gunning that last afternoon, we were like, he took his GoPro, I took my Insta360, I took the other main camera, but then we started shedding stuff on the side of the hill because we're walking on, like, not straight up and down, but like where you have to walk on the sides of your feet to be able to get grip. And so we started shedding stuff because we didn't want stuff to fall and spook the turkey. And then Hunter and Nate Dogg had to sneak up the hill. They crawled behind one mound, couldn't get to it, so then had to crawl behind the other mound. And then when they got to behind the other mound, Nate goes, peeked his head up and he like pulled him back down because the turkey seen him. And he goes like, dude, you got 10 seconds to make this shot. So he popped back up and he's like, when you come up, make sure you're looking down the barrel so that way that red dot, because you're literally going to have to put it on them or they're gone. And like, so it's a one and done. I mean, and like for a lot of adults, they ain't making that shot because they're going to overthink it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that I guess I shouldn't say the probability of any person making that shot because of the pressure that you're under, knowing that you're under time constraint, especially with a single shotgun, as opposed to, being able to pump or semi-auto. And he pulled the trigger, put the best part about the whole thing. And I'm sitting back watching it because I'm behind because I didn't want to sneak up, and then whatever, I'm watching it. And then Lankster says, go out and grab him by the neck. He goes, what do I do? And he's sitting there running circles around this turkey and running circles. And so then I go running up with the camera and I pass the camera, and like, you get this, you see like the camera, like going through the ground, like just going like this and whatever. Speaking of that, and you see that. And so then I go up and grab it, and that dang turkey kicked my zipper open and actually kicked one of my turkey calls out of my pocket. And it was hilarious. But that 410 rolled him. It was a great first bird. It was a great bird in general, regardless of first bird. But then, so we celebrated that with a little bit of fish, and all you can eat fish. I told you I wanted fish. Dougie and Lankster made sure we had some all you can eat fish. So then after we got all you can eat fish, Hunter, did you see that Doug said his truck is finally aired out from that day? So with that being said, Doug then took us on what I'm going to call the turkey farm tour. And we got to see all his turkey hunting paradise, as I'll call it, because like there were strutters everywhere. We were talking and doing all this stuff and whatnot. And like, to keep it PG for the people at home, my son, if you could have like had gas masks in the truck, we needed those. And that poor guy, Doug, we're getting out to go back home to get ready for the next day. And he just gets out like nothing happened. And Doug rolls down his windows and starts choking like he's going to die. And Hunter's like, yep, that was me. and so it was hilarious, but again, just funnier moments than anything, you know what I mean? And so then the next day, old dad was up to bat. Lankster let me go first. We started trying to do some different things as far as trying to get on birds. We tried to get where we thought one was coming. It didn't work. We tried to get where other things were going. It didn't work. We ran back and forth, and that total day, like we went and that day ended up being Lancaster's day. We made a play on some birds mid-morning that the hens took 2 toms back into the woods after we tried to make a play on them. So we turned around and put it in reverse, Terry, flip it, put it in reverse. And then went back to the other county, tried to do something else. That didn't work. So then we went back to the next county, and the hilarious part is the same 2 toms, the same 2 hens are sitting there working in the same field that those hens just got done taking those toms out of 2 hours ago. So, that patience thing.
Yeah.
The one thing I learned this year is that you got to give each spot about an hour, because it seemed like every time we did something, it was about an hour later and those birds were back, or they'd show up when we thought they were gone or whatever. So anyway, we make a play. We're walking through the woods. We don't see them in the field. So then we kind of hug the tree line and hug up, and all of a sudden these hens take off flying. And when they take off flying, then you hear, oh, and I'm like, and then all of a sudden you hear, I didn't even see what he was, you know what I mean, rolling. And then next thing you know, you see Hunter running in front of Lancaster, beat Lancaster to his bird. That was after 4.5 miles that day. Beat Lancaster to his bird. Didn't have any problem messing with that one. We got it back into the shade, got pictures, whatever. And then we spent Sunday putting another 4 miles on Mother's Day. And it just, again, it was a lot of good turkey hunting, a lot of camaraderie, a lot of laughter, a lot of miles, a lot of looking back and going, shh, because, Cletus over here, me, I'd step on branches, and then it wouldn't be no different. Then all of a sudden he'd step on a bigger branch, and Lancaster looks, gotta be quiet. And I just was like, well, sometimes I step on stuff and he step on stuff. We weren't as nimble and as quiet and stealth like ninja like Lancaster. Lancaster had some practice of being ninja.
Yeah.
We did not have any practice of being ninja as far as that goes. So we will have to work on being ninjas before that goes. But with that being said, it was a crazy thing. And then the craziest part out of everything though is the ride back home, trying to figure out what you're going to do with this bird, because everybody that you thought that I had set up that was good, nope, don't deal with turkeys anymore. Don't deal with turkeys anymore. Don't deal with turkeys anymore. And so trying to find somebody to preserve that memory, it's crazy. So AKA, if there's anybody hobbyist or enthusiast of taxidermy and you want to get back into bird work, that might be where you need to go, because I'm telling you, from everything that I called around this area, there was one from Cincinnati to the edge of Indiana to whatever. There was one. So if you got an eye for detail and you got that might be your call, and that might be your chance to put that in. So I don't know. So that was turkey season. We came back, and like I said, we had a couple other close encounters. Calling these birds in and, getting them gobbling and doing that different stuff. And I don't know, it was fun. Yeah. But then the crazy part is so let's fast forward. Yesterday, end of turkey season, right? Well, I guess we need to go back to reverse. We told them we were going to tell them about the story about flying out of here. So guys, in case you were wondering, oh, hey, Chris Ford, 3 a.m. does come early, brother. I hopefully you get some sleep and be safe. Thank you for tuning in, my friend. Appreciate you, brother. But yeah, so last week, number one, we were making fun of John to do a podcast, and then John shows up. Okay. So then I was caught off guard. I couldn't take my time to get the stuff set up and test everything like we did the week before when it was just John and I, and we had it worked. And I was so sure of myself. I said, oh, everything's good. We set it up the same way as we did the last time. Everything was not good. We went through half the podcast with no audio. And then when we finally got the audio back, then T-Bone got in his head that, hey, what are we doing a podcast when there's still shooting time left? So then every one of us, so it was hilarious. It was like we're loaning up I don't even know what you would call it, because we had my wife, my daughter, my son, myself, John, and T-Bone all rolling out to these parks, trying to see if we could get a bird to respond, rolling to the next parking spot, then rolling to this open field, finally down this bottom. Old T-Bone would call. I'd respond back. T-Bone would call because we were on opposite sides trying to see if we could get anything fired. And it was hilarious because I'm sure John's just over there thinking in his head, like, these two idiots are just sitting there talking to each other. Ain't no bird dumb enough to respond to them, and they're talking to each other.
Well, you know what I did, so.
Yeah. Well, that's because you seen with the look in his eyes for adventure of what he was going to do next.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we went on the adventure and whatever, and we ended up doing what we did. But yeah, it was kind of
It was spur of the moment.
It was spur of the moment. You got a chance to see some big deer in the fields, which is actually what we're going to lead up to, because turkey season closed yesterday. And like we said, there ain't no rest for the wicked. So what did we turn around and do today? Well, actually, like yesterday, because it was downpouring rain, what did we do yesterday?
We tried. So while turkey hunting, I found what I consider about the perfect tree, perfect setup. And I told Ryan, I'm like, hey, we got to put a stand in this tree. Like, we have to. And so my brilliant idea was we were going to go out there yesterday in the rain to keep scent down and do, make the move. Showed Ryan the tree, yeah.
Okay, but before we even made it to the tree, what happened?
Well, yeah, we seen one of the few bucks that are out there. Not sure if it was him or not.
I don't know. He was pretty wide.
Yeah. There's a couple out there. There's two in particular I have my eye on. And as we're walking up in the rain, we seen him standing there. And I told Ryan, I was like, hey, you might as well go ahead and get your camera out.
But here's the best part. I looked at you and I said, you think I can get to that tree? And then when I got to that tree, I kept looking back at you. I said, do you think I can get to the next tree?
Mm-hmm.
During deer season, if I had my bow, that was
never made it up the hill.
Well, no. Well, first of all, yes, they wouldn't have let us done that. But I got to a close enough range that I would have been within bow range.
Oh yeah, I could have shot one. Yeah, I mean, I've seen you shoot. You could shoot from where I was at. But we could have killed both those deer.
But it was,
if I'm being honest.
But it was just hilarious because the rain helped us. Because number one, with the rain, like they were kind of just at ease, right? So they were out of sight, out of mind. Kind of got up and stretched from their bed, and then didn't have a care in the world.
No.
So
not at all.
And then in your terms, we did a soft.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between when you bump a deer out and soft bump a deer, right? Like
where you blow them out of the water. Bombshell.
I mean, they were back in there. I mean, I got photos, videos of them later that evening. But yeah, it's like there's a difference, right? And I don't know, it's as a hunter, you can kind of tell the difference, right? Like they'll flag, they blow, they take off. You don't see them for a while, right? And then there's that, I'm not sure what you are, but I'm going to go ahead and get out of there.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the bump that we did yesterday. And then again, like I said, we had them in there this morning and everything. So, I mean, it worked out pretty well.
Well, the other thing we figured out too is we looked at Mother Nature and said, hey, we're going to go get this done because it's according to Mother Nature, the rain's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Well, it was number one. It was the opposite of what she told us. So not only was Mother Nature wrong, but I guess it couldn't have been Mother Nature. It might have been the weatherman or the weather woman.
Mother Nature's never wrong.
But we got out there and John's like, dude, we got to find a place to because we were just getting torrential downpour.
We should have jumped on the blind.
Yeah. But then the reality was we're like, okay, well, we're already wet. So we're just going to go ahead and go back to the truck. So we made it back to the truck and then shenanigans started all over this morning. But I think, so mark my words.
Better make it on this podcast.
What?
You better bookmark this podcast. We'll reference it back if you're right, because I know you're going to go with this.
It's episode 21.
Okay. We need to write it down.
Episode 21, May 25th, the Monday before your birthday.
Yep.
We are bookmarking that spot that I'm going to tell you it's, like you said, I think it's going to be to the right, not to the left. So if you're sitting straight, it's going to be to the right. And I'm going to tell you it's either going to be, there's those double set of big trees that are stacked on each other that I said you can either use that as a shield to draw. It's either going to be to the right of the double trees or just to the left, but it's going to be plus or minus 15 degrees of those double trees.
You're calling it.
Calling it.
Do you have a bet on which deer it is?
I don't have a bet on which deer. I just think that cover, based on where we've seen them feeding and bedding and doing whatever, that with the right wind, and like you said today when we were doing it, you knew where I was. I was in plain clothes. I wasn't in camouflage, and I was sitting pretty tight.
Yeah.
I was pretty hidden.
I mean, in your words yesterday, that's just a perfect tree to do it.
And it's a chip shot. The other thing is like it gives you basically, I mean, for the lack of better terms, you're going to have
180 degrees.
Yeah, you're going to have 30 to 40 yards, 180 degrees that you can essentially do whatever you want for that 30 to 40 yards.
Yep.
So, and then on top of that, so like we didn't even get a chance to do it. So we're going to, you've seen a lot of posts in previous years with us saying, how do you JuJu? How do you do it? So
there's going to be one or two around that stand. I can tell you that.
So we got what I think I told you the other day. We had 30 of them in there. We got 30 of them ready to roll. So if you are looking to make your mock scrapes, I'm going to emphasize now, number one, you need to get those going. And number two, get your mock scrape stuff ordered as far as just the rope, and get your spot set and get them used to coming to that spot. And then we will go. So
from there.
Liam goes, I am the first one watching on either the old TikTok or YouTube. I don't know which one he's on. See which one he's on. Must be. Oh, we got two on. Hey, you got two on the YouTube that are watching from YouTube versus Facebook. Check that out. But with that being said, I think that this is just the beginning of a lot of good things. Like even today, like we were out there when I left, and again, we're going to test a lot of different things, but I did a little like walk up video of just putting some stuff out, and that Insta 360 is going to be a game changer on B-roll. I don't know what it should be a game changer on B-roll and second angle. Because if I would have had a second angle of hunter's deer last year, the thwack of the Tacticam and all that other stuff would have been enough, because you would have been able to see the trees pinballing and kind of seen what I seen. But I think that this year is just going to be different. Did you just get a picture as we're sitting here?
Yeah. And that's the camera by the stand.
So I think
that's the camera by the stand.
That's the deer though, because he was wide as what it was. So that's the deer. That's the deer. So he's going. So now, okay. So I just lied to you guys, because that deer is making a liar out of me. That deer is actually walking to the left of what I said, which if you're sitting in this, like that, just if you imagine, okay, so I'm sitting in the tree stand like this, that deer is walking right here and going to come right in 15 yards. And
we just put that stand out.
Yeah. And like we were all over that spot today and had no rain to cover it up when we were in there. So, but that's hilarious that we're on the podcast. And I said, mark my words.
8:17 is when that deer came through.
And it's 8:19. So yeah. So that's hilarious. So
request the video, but yeah.
No, I don't know, man. I feel like there's a lot of good things to come. There's a lot of things that we're going to be doing, and there's going to be a lot of things that will make a whole lot more sense as mock season goes. Yep. You know what I mean? You're going to see us trying some different tactics. You're going to see us trying some different things. And the one thing that I want you to understand, we will never preach. And I'm going to say this with emphasis because there is no perfect storm, right? There is no perfect way to do something. There is no perfect anything. But we truly do believe that the JuJu is going to be one of the most universal mock scrape ropes on the market, only because it's not necessarily going to be paired with any specific deer urine. We want you to, oh shoot, wrong button. We want you to use whatever you're most comfortable using. So maybe on the next episode, remind me, we'll grab one, we'll talk about one. Maybe I'll have it hanging from here. But there's going to be some other things with like mineral site and that stuff. Yeah, and he's just like, yep, I'll just sit here. I'm just going to parade for you.
Yeah, and we're not oblivious, right? Like there are definitely other ropes, other things that are comparable on the market.
I mean, think about it. You have Hodag has been one of the longest ones on there.
Like we didn't invent rope.
No,
you know what I mean? And that's where I get.
So really what it comes down to, it comes down to just who do you want to support? It's not ours is better than theirs. Theirs is better than ours. It's not that, I mean, there's only so many different ways that you can tie a rope and you can put a rope up and do it. But here's the thing. You can hang them at different heights. You can use different strategies. You can use different products. You can use different things. And those strategies, I believe, is what's going to make a big difference. And you will see, so I know you've seen it on the tent. I know myself for sure, but there is going to be other people that you're going to see us in sea deer camo this year. And I'm going to tell you that I think that between that and some of the other changes, this season's going to be pretty intense.
It's already starting off different.
Yeah.
It's got a different vibe to it than what seasons have in the past.
Yeah. Everything since we started videoing podcasts, now, minus the IT guy needing to get some different things.
Yeah, we need to look at upgrading that position.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you might want to fire him, but then if you fire him, you might lose a whole lot of other things.
Yeah, as I say, he's got some value added.
But no, seriously though, like we have, so Jason from that, and actually I need to rewind. Before we kick off deer season, I need to make sure that, so the guys over at Epic Shot Shell helped us roll a lot of birds this year. So I need to make sure that they understand that we are so appreciative of them making sure that we had the right stuff. And again, now keep in mind, TSS is not for everyone. We, however, found the value in TSS because, like with a single shot 410, and you can get out to 50 yards and still roll them, that's good for a kid. When you get those 12 gauge, if you didn't watch their last video that Epic shared, I think it's Second Amendment hunters, the guys that are chasing Rios in Texas, and they rolled these birds at 60 and 70 yards with these Epic TSS. It's something hits different, and we can't thank them enough for everything that they did for us. I mean, they made the Blue Collar Boy season, the Hunting RX season. They helped my son secure his first bird. And there's a lot of things and a lot of memories that were made because of Epic Shock Shells. So make sure to give them a like, give them the follow, give them the credit they deserve, because we wouldn't be where we're at. And if you get into the fall and you're a duck hunter or goose hunter, they got shot for that too. So make sure you tell them.
I mean, you made me a believer, Adam. I mean, I was dead set on not shooting anything other than what I had. And then I threw one through. Yeah. And I mean, it changed. I mean, I've got photos of it. I mean, it makes a big difference. And Ryan, you know it better than anyone. I was anti-TSS.
He's very skeptical of change.
I am. What works. I'm not gonna sit here and
the old adage of if it ain't broke, you don't fix it.
No, exactly. If it works for me, I have a hard time. Which, I mean, it's turkey season. Nothing's worked for me as to this point. But I mean, it was. I don't know. Like, I shot what I was shooting, which I felt good about, and then
But I think if you look at a lot of people, though, so I'm going to say it because there's a lot of people that shoot the Winchester XR longbeards, which is what you were shooting, and I'm just going to go ahead and call it. That's fine. I think there's a place for everybody and a shot for everybody that everybody's comfort level is. But what I'm going to tell you is I think that Epic is on to something with their loads for their TSS. I also think that they have their new lead TSS combo is something that they've been testing and patterning. And again, I haven't put enough of those downrange because we've all been mainly TSS. I mean, you'll see in our pattern video, I think it's the 1 5/8 and the 1 7/8 TSS lead combo. And again, out of my specific setup, it worked flawless, but that doesn't mean it's going to be flawless for you. So what I encourage is try different things. You may like TSS, you may like the TSS lead, you may like straight lead, you may like whatever. Try what works for you. It's no different than deer season. Every bow is going to be something different for somebody, and it's going to be different. So when it hits different, and that's what it is. But again, I promise you, when it comes to TSS, you won't find a better quality that's going to roll them birds.
I mean, I shot the TSS lead combo, and it did better than the Winchester did. And then when I went to the full TSS, I mean, I told you, I was like, yeah, I'm shooting these. I mean, it was insane the difference between it. And yeah, I was skeptical about Epic at first because again, I don't like change, but I will tell you right now, 100%, I have faith that, in what they are producing and everything like that. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'll be curious to see. I want to look and see what kind of other shells they have for like other game and everything and try to like.
I didn't look to see if they had anything deer wise, but I know they have duck, goose, pheasant. I think they have some target load. They have some of that stuff. So, like I said, Jason is a good dude. It's a family owned business. They're keeping up. So Troy, no, for sure. So I never got a chance to shoot a bird at 70, but I will tell you that I think what those guys were doing, chasing those Rios and doing that other stuff, I mean, like, they were on them, and it was cool to watch more of the camaraderie that came around it, because between the cameraman, the dude from Guides Blend, Keith, and I think his name is Michael Collins from Second Amendment, who is there in Ohio, they all did a really, really good job of just living it and having fun and sharing their story and doing that stuff. So again, like, Troy, you came out with your new call, your patented call that's got 4 different sides. I think it's the F4. I can't again, but you have your new patent call that is a game changer, and I think that, for you, it's a challenge to see how tight you can get them birds in. For some people, maybe they're not as good at callers. It may be a different challenge if they get them within, 70, then, you really got to sit tight, because if you get them within 70, I mean, they're seeing. I mean, a lot of times if they're within 100, they're seeing, and you can't move. But it's just, the birds are so, the EF4, good. So I didn't screw it up there, because Troy, I seen that call put down a lot of birds, buddy, and pretty awesome stuff. So I think there's a lot of things that this season just hit different. So turkey season was different. We're starting off deer season different. And like I said, we got our mock scrape rope, the JuJu. We're gonna do some posts of how do you JuJu. We're gonna do some how-tos and do some different things and heights and different strategies and do some of those different things that we do, because again, it's stuff that we believe in. And honestly, so here's what I'm gonna tell you, because I'm not partial to anything and don't have anything right now. I will tell you right now, Stormin' Norman has some cover scent, that the cover scent, and again, Lankster and Dougie both kill big deer year in and year out. And Lankster swears by the cover scent from Stormin' Norman. So that's something we may tinker with this year as well. But we have a lot of things to look forward to. But just as turkey season came and went, we're going to be June 1st before you know it. and then June 1st is going to lead to July, then August, and then September, and then it's going to be deer season, man. So we got a lot of big plans for deer season. We got a lot of things that we're going to do. We got a lot of things in the works, and I just hope that, honestly, we got enough daylight to do it because that's really what it comes down to is time.
But
anyway,
a busy schedule coming up.
Yeah. So everything comes down to time. But again, guys, we appreciate you tuning in, having fun with us. I think at one point, we had 5 people on the YouTube watching us. If you haven't noticed, we started posting a bunch of shorts on there. We got our old TikToker page and we got Facebook. And then if you ever get bored, scroll the. So Troy, you and I may have to message because I got something. Yeah, maybe we can work something out there with that. So Troy says he's working on a rope scent, hopefully before season. So, but yeah, we are kind of getting things kicked off and trying to get that mock scrape season going, and we'll see what happens here. So, but guys, I'm gonna let John do his wind up because he's got nobody else to take his thunder this week. But yeah.
No, I appreciate everyone listening. I mean, we've been seeing a lot more engagement, a lot more just viewership all around. And normally this time of year, I mean, it all dies down, right? Like deer season's not in. And that's probably one of the biggest drives that we have. But I think with the turkey contest and everything, there's been a lot of interaction on all the social media platforms. So obviously we appreciate that. Appreciate everything that everyone's doing to help the average Joe, right? And it goes a long way. I think a lot of times, it doesn't get said enough, but no, we appreciate that. And if you're not, I mean, obviously, can go give us a like, share, follow on our social media platforms and stay tuned. There's a lot of things coming down the pipeline, and yeah, there's just a lot of things coming down the pipeline. Now I'm just going to leave it at that.
I was going to say there's a lot of stuff in the works, and guys, so that's what I'll tell you. So we have our website. It's updated. So again, what I'm going to tell you is when we preach the average Joe and we preach, the blue collar stuff, because again, those are the 2 people we're kind of partnered with between, Nathan and Doug and Jimmy over at the Blue Collar Boys and us over here. Like the average Joe and blue collar worker just don't have a lot of time. And so everything we do and preach is that's what it's for. Do we think that it's going to be perfect? No. Do we think that we have the special gimmick? No. But we think that there's a spot for everybody at the table in the hunting industry. And we just want to make sure that we're giving the opportunity to every person at every level, no matter where you're at, and how we can help. We don't care. So don't be afraid to hit us up. Don't be afraid to message us. Don't be afraid to kind of join the bandwagon and find out what Hunting RX is all about. There's a lot of stuff on the website. There's a lot of good information, and there'll be a lot more.
Yeah, there'll be
a lot of more. There will be a lot more on that website here soon. Yeah. Dude, it's been a long day in the sun.
It has been a long day.
I mean, it started early.
Yep.
But yeah, it'd be good, man. There's a lot of stuff to be proud of. I guess really at the end of the day, it's about leaving legacy, camaraderies, and making sure that the average Joe and the blue collar has the leg up. So if there's any way we can make your life easier, message us and let us know. But with that being said, we appreciate you. Until next time, we'll see y'all.
I'm always up on time, down on my luck. Got a brand new payment on an old, worn out truck. Papa told me back when I was 9, someday this farm, it'll be all mine. Now I walk these woods with kids of my own. It's been 12 years since Daddy done passed on. Damn Chevy stole